Hey everyone, Frank Jacob here. I know it's been a while since I was here with a new interview. It's been kind of a crazy year. I've been out a lot, traveling, doing live engagements, and Tanya Maidenford and I are also in the middle of post-production on a new feature documentary. It's still kind of a top secret project. There'll be some announcements about it in the coming months, I guess. It's probably going to be released early next year. I also wanted to thank those of you who have added your names to the subscriber list. It's now gone up to over 4,000. I'm very happy about that. Thank you guys so much for subscribing and keep the numbers coming. We've got to keep getting this information out there. Another announcement I wanted to make actually was that I've been invited to come and speak live at the Arlington Institute, which is kind of like the TED of consciousness. First time I've actually spoken live on a stage in the Eastern United States. That's going to be both a live event with me on stage as well as live streamed event. Information about it is going to be put here below under the video, so those of you who want to come and attend in person, I'd love to see you. And it's not a large venue, so probably a good idea to get tickets if you are intending to come. I'd really enjoy that if we could. It's about a 4-hour event. Like, it starts I think at 1 o'clock on Saturday, December 9th, and it runs until 5 p.m. And of course, the subject matter is going to be all that good stuff, everything from looking glass technology to timelines to the pineal gland. As you know, I just did a new webinar, now the second one. It's called The Inner Looking Glass. Information about that is also below on the links. That's about it. I just wanted to chime in real quick. Welcome to those who have never been on this channel before. There's a couple of interesting interviews below that you might want to check out with regard to nanobots and AI. And the topics that I'm going to be covering in the upcoming interviews are, of course, going to build more in that direction, more intense. Probably won't be able to publish the entire video on this Thought Police channel. But for that, that's why I have CYBERHIVE, and it'll be on CYBERHIVE, or it'll be maybe on Rumble as well. So in closing, I just wanted to add John Nolan of Inspired's newest cut of the excerpts from our last interview together. He did a bang-up job. It's really well put together, and like our friend Dieter Burr said, there's no way you could say it any more concisely than it was put together by John Nolan in that video. Thanks, John. Thank you, guys. See you soon. The pineal gland is our interface, or transducer, that communicates directly with the electrons to create matter. So the pineal gland is really to understand that it's not just some atrophied organ in the brain that puts out a few chemicals that induce, like melatonin or serotonin, but that it actually is functional throughout our entire lives. In fact, it is so powerful that it was a classified subject. You have to ask yourself, why would an organ in the body be classified by the CIA, right? You find out all these studies were done in the 50s and 60s where they realized, oh my God, like it is the pineal gland to actually tie into other parts of the brain, like the hippocampus, for example, which is responsible for memory processes and picture formation. So it's this tandem operation between reaching into hyperspace and seeing what's there and making it visual for us within the brain that gives us a very unique ability as human beings. There's kids that can read blindfolded, right? There are all these studies done on these special children that could actually operate without their senses. These things are basically telling us that we have these extrasensory abilities. Now, they're not in all of us. I mean, most of us have been adapting the programming that we've been subjected to our whole lives, so we don't believe we can do this. But these children, they just know it because they're just of another generation, right? And you have people that can electromagnetically move things, right? They can actually affect things through electromagnetism. And all that is a direct communication with those electrons that I've been talking about. The positive side of it is that all of this means that this is what's in store for us as human beings. And this is why these planners, cabal, whatever you want to call them, I prefer to just call them parasites, they're trying to do everything they can to block that functioning organ in our body through the three most powerful toxins to the pineal gland are aluminum fluoride and glyphosate. Guess what?
They just happen to be the three most prevalent toxins in our environment around us right now. So you can see that this other side is desperate. They want to do whatever they can to shut us down from becoming what we're actually destined to become, which is to break that mold completely and move into what J.J. Hertog in the webinar calls Homo Universalis. That means a person who develops all faculties, not just excels at one of them, but he excels at several, So in our history, we've had people like that. We've had polymaths, like Socrates may have been the first one, Da Vinci. You hear about these people that they're mathematicians, they play a mean violin, they're super athletes. And this is what we actually have, all of us, within our DNA. It's all there. We're just not tuning into it. It's been stored in the electron. And it's there for all those children that we see. And Andrew Buhari, who discovered that the 8 hertz transcends matter, he also discovered and began working with healers. And one thing he found is that all these healers and psychics, they all would go into a state between 7 and 8 hertz while they were doing whatever they do. And so this seems to be the key for us moving forward, so that we're not just reporting on disasters and observing them and trying to avoid them, but that we're actually aware that we can tune into them, we can steer them, we can manifest them. In fact, we're such powerful creator beings that the fact that our pineal gland is tuning into hyperspace and bringing our information field that we define as our reality, and even if it is limited, it's still a miraculous thing. All these things around us, we are manifesting them so well that we've forgotten completely that we're doing it. It's on autopilot. The thing is, we can do so much more that we don't even realize. And the cool thing about Uri Geller was he was famous in the 70s for being able to bend spoons. As soon as he went on television and became this instant success all around the world, guess what happened? All around the world, people began bending spoons. Hey, I can do this too, right? Wow, I can do this. So what I'm saying here is that all of us, we really have to understand that we are creator gods, and we have to know, not hope, not believe. We just have to know that we have these functions, and those functions, that's what the new world is about. And that new world is the one that we want to manifest. That's that timeline we've been talking about. And that's the timeline the others are trying to block so desperately that they're using whatever they can. And in the material realm that we've manifested around us with its limitations, those particular beings have, of course, mastered certain elements of that which dominate this limited reality, which is monetary power, keeping us away from information and technologies like healing modalities, energy modalities. And the thing is, we have to call them on it. We have to know that we don't have to wait, because really, wait for what? Wait for them to manifest and manufacture the next problem for us to react to. We have to break this cycle. And I think that's what this is all about.